your brother or whoever he was, he didn't want me to, like...
Did you force your way into the house with a knife?
That is very accurate.
You have her duct taped and zip tied, face down. You knew you were going to kill her.
You know, once you kick a dog enough times, they tend to bite back. And really, they just don't care anymore.
This is Kimberly Kessler, a murder suspect in Florida.
Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin.
On May 12, 2018, Kessler stabbed and killed her coworker, Jolene Cummings, with a pair of scissors inside Tangle's hair salon in Fernandina Beach, Florida. After the murder, Kessler drove Cummings' car to a parking lot and abandoned it before disposing of Cummings' body in a dumpster, which was never recovered. Kessler attempted to evade capture by quitting her job and lying about her identity. However, she was eventually arrested and charged with first-degree murder and grand theft auto. Kessler pleaded not guilty and claimed she was insane.
Kessler's mental health has also been in question. In the past, she was found not competent. Then in October 2020, a judge ruled she was competent and her trial date was set. Kessler continues a hunger strike and unsanitary behavior, such as putting her own feces on her face and on corrections officers.
She also refused to cooperate with her lawyers and often disrupted the proceedings with outbursts and insults.
The public defender.
Public defender's office. We got in my room. You, Daniel. You.
She is completely undressed and has feces smeared on the window.
It's probably not a bad idea.
Are we on mute anyway, so I can say whatever the I want?
We're not on mute.
Oh, okay.
She claimed a conflict of interest and repeatedly accused her public defender of being related to the victim.
Jordan Beard is Johnson's nephew. Jordan Beard is Jolene's cousin.
Jordan Beard is Johnson's nephew. Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin.
Jordan Beard is Jolene's cousin.
In court, Kessler accused the judge of silencing her for years and sweeping the truth under the rug.
Sure, I can stay up here and I'm going to say what I want, when I want, how I want, which you silenced me for years. You silenced me for years. So let everyone know this is just the tip of the iceberg. Jordan Beard, public defender, is Jolene Cummings' cousin. Along with his brother Josh, yeah. You swept it under the rug for 3.5 years, along with her father, her stepdad, who runs the jail, who recently retired. He still comes in.
During her competency trial, correctional officers revealed Kessler's troublesome behaviors in custody.
On occasion, I could see her smearing feces on the windows.
Her clothes off and went in the window and pressed her breast against the window.
Threatened to break every bone in my body.
Cummings' mother and Johnson believed Kessler was smart and trying to secure an incompetency deal.
Suspect really incompetent or is a suspect just very intelligent? She will be found competent. I arrest you. She'll be found competent.
She was found competent to stand trial after several evaluations by mental health experts. The trial began in November 2021, and Kessler was found guilty of first-degree murder.
We, the jury, found the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment.
She faced a mandatory sentence of life in prison without parole. Kessler declined to be present in the courtroom when the verdict was read.
Someone bring you and give you the opportunity to participate and listen to the verdict. Proceedings.
Refuse.
Pardon?
No, thank you.
All right. Do you want to go back downstairs?
Yes.
All right, fair enough then.
In an interview, Kessler's ex-husband described her as a crazy woman who loved to play mind games.
She was crazy. I can tell you that. She was, I know it's a crazy woman, but she was out there. She had mind games.
In a victim impact statement, Cummings' mother became emotional while describing what the past years have been like without her daughter.
The greatest nightmare of all, the murder of a beautiful soul that was taken from us. The only thing that keeps us together is faith.
The Nassau County Sheriff said that he believed this wasn't Kessler's first murder.
I don't for one second believe that Kimberly Kessler, or whatever name she's going by today, I don't believe this is her first murder. I don't at all. She's evil in the flesh. And as soon as she's sentenced, I want her behind out of our jail because we are fed up with her crap.
Fed up with her behavior, Kessler's trials were filled with angry and loud outbursts. But the opposite can be said in the case of Tony Farmer.
I'll serve a term of 2 years on that count. as well.
Tony Farmer, a top recruited basketball player, is facing charges for aggravated assault in Ohio. According to reports, Farmer, once a top 100 ESPN recruit and a potential NBA prospect, was accused of kidnapping, robbery, and assaulting his ex-girlfriend Andrea Lane. A surveillance video from 18-year-old Lane's apartment showed Farmer attacking her. He continued to strike and kick Lane while she cowered in a corner, pleading for him to stop. Police said he dragged her outside by the hair and continued to assault her. When Lane tried to get back to her apartment, he attacked her again, tried to pull her outside, and later kicked her in the head. Farmer pleaded guilty to all 3 charges and was sentenced to 3 years in jail. He collapsed in the courtroom when the verdict was being read.
2 years in prison on that count. As to count 3 of that case, the robbery, which is also a felony of the 2nd degree, the court orders that the defendant shall serve a term of 2 years on that count as well.
As family members wept in the background, Farmer's reaction became a viral meme on social media.
I haven't finished yet. I haven't finished.
In court, supporters of Farmer asked for a lenient sentencing so that he could pursue his basketball career. Andrea Lane testified in Farmer's favor and requested the judge not to send him to prison.
I know he was a good person. I hope he still is. I hope he learns from this.
The judge was not swayed by their requests because she believed the victim was traumatized by the whole situation.
There's nothing in the sentencing guideline that talks about him being a basketball star and being able to go forward when obviously I think she's been very traumatized by this whole situation.
She also concluded that Tony Farmer was not remorseful after his initial arrest, as he later attempted to intimidate the victim by sending her a series of texts and phone messages.
Or said that he should have done something more to her, and so that, in addition to what I saw on the tape, was very telling to me, and it was a violation of the no contact order that was put in place to protect her.
While fainting upon hearing your sentence is rare, how does it compare to trying to escape from your sentence, like Gregory Wright did? This is Gregory Wright, a suspect in an armed robbery in Detroit, Michigan. As per reports, 22-year-old Wright robbed Gregory Gritton at gunpoint and escaped with his car. While fleeing from authorities, Wright slammed into a police cruiser and fired shots, hitting an officer in the arm. A day later, on June 29th, Wright was arrested.
All I got to say is I have no remorse for shooting that police officer. He got what he deserved. If I had the opportunity to kill him, I'd kill him.
If I had the opportunity to kill him, I'd kill him, Wright said. He further expressed,
opportunity to kill him, I'd kill him.
Now in court, Gregory faces charges of armed robbery, carrying a concealed weapon, and use of a firearm during a felony. Wright was presented at court for a pretrial bond hearing, where Judge Aubrey granted a bond of $50,000. On hearing this, Wright made a run for it. 7 officers finally managed to subdue Wright after the scuffle. Judge Bray removed the bond and ordered Wright to remain in custody. The case eventually went to trial, and Wright was sentenced to life in prison. However, this wasn't the only time chaos swept the courtroom, like in the case of Manson Bryant, a robbery and abduction suspect in Ohio.
Court determines that you have or will have the ability to pay restitution.
In 2018, Bryant was convicted by a jury of robbery, kidnapping, and weapons charges relating to an armed burglary of an occupied trailer home. According to reports, 35-year-old Bryant and a co-defendant were accused of crawling through the trailer's window and holding the resident at gunpoint while robbing him. At his sentencing hearing in March 2019, Bryant appeared before Judge Eugene Lucci, a familiar face. This was the 4th time Bryant stood before Judge Lucci as a convicted felon, who noted that his crimes had become more and more violent over the years.
The last time before this time that I had him, I put him in prison for 4 years for a robbery. He acted out briefly on his way out of the courtroom, and I just let it go.
In court, Bryant was given a chance to speak on his behalf.
I made a lifetime of bad decisions.
Bryant said that many of his decisions were driven by drug addiction and that he wanted to stay clean. He also praised Lucci and the justice system as a whole.
It's not how I want to finish my life. And despite the circumstances of my upbringing, I understand that I can't continue supporting others for my actions. I have a newfound respect for the efforts of the attorneys, judges, juries.
Bryant pleaded with Judge Lucci for an opportunity to still make something out of his life.
I ask for you to give me a meaningful opportunity to still make something out of my life.
Lucci sentenced Bryant to 22 years in prison, which was significantly more than the 12-year sentence his co-defendant received. Bryant wasn't happy about that and made sure to let Judge Lucci know.
Sentences you to prison for a total of 22 years, the ability to pay restitution.
Courtroom, you racist, yeah. Your courtroom, man. You racist as fuck. 22 years. Racist. You ain't.
Wait a minute.
Never gave me a chance.
When I said that you had a certain amount of remorse, I was mistaken. 28 years with credit for 231 days.
I don't want to hear it, man.
Lucci ultimately sentenced Bryant to 28 years behind bars, up from the 22 years he had originally indicated. The additional 6 years were directly linked to Lucci's belief that Bryant was not, in fact, remorseful.
Well, it was clear that the remorse that he was trying to portray was phony, and that he wasn't remorseful at all, and that if given the chance, if I let him loose on society, he's going to prey on other people.
Bryant's case attracted national attention and sparked a debate about the role of free speech and judicial discretion in sentencing. But how does it compare to attacking your lawyer in court?
Stop. You went off on your attorney, Taylor. You went crazy on your attorney.
This is Taylor Schaab, a murder suspect in Wisconsin. As per reports, 25-year-old Schaebies killed and mutilated Shad Theien in a drug-fueled intimate act. 24-year-old Shad was strangled with a metal chain, and his dismembered body was found in his mother's basement. Schaebies left his severed head in a bucket and other body parts in a storage tote, plastic bags, and cardboard boxes.
There was remains, 2 different specific types of remains that I observed.
What kind?
There was a human head. There was genitalia in the bucket.
Shad's mother was the first to discover her son's remains.
You kind of came upon the bucket, it happenstance kind of, right?
Right.
So then you took the towel off?
I did.
Schaebies later admitted that killing Shad wasn't the only thing she did to him.
I don't know, put the in his ass.
You driving on?
Yeah, I listened.
Did you ever put his p in your vagina? Or you just trying on him? So when did you start, cutting up his body?
Like almost right away. I was sucking and cutting at the same time.
She was arrested and charged with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilation of a corpse, and third-degree assault. During a court appearance, Schaebies shockingly attacked her lawyer.
Stop it. Stop it. Rachel, call. They bring us 7 in.
She had to be pacified by 2 court officers.
You went off on your attorney, Taylor. You went crazy on your attorney.
Slammed Shabusiness, telling her there's no excuse for her cowardly actions.
If you take the path to go get the help, you wouldn't be in this situation right now. None of us would be in this situation. But to take the cowardly path that you did and to make other people suffer because you were suffering is pretty shitty.
Kelly said he wished death in prison for Schaebies and hoped she'd meet the same fate as her idol, Jeffrey Dahmer.
I will pray that you meet the same fate as your idolistic Jeffrey Dahmer. So have a good life, business.
Michael Theien, Shad's father, said he forgave Schaebies for what she did to his son and hoped she would use her time in prison to become a better person.
Taylor, I just wanted to say that I forgive you for what you done to my son. And yeah, you made a bad choice, and now you have to live with it.
Judge Walsh said that this crime offends human decency.
And I'm going to ask the judge if he can, if she can see the streets again sometime, It may not be soon, but I believe everybody makes bad choices, and maybe not to this scale, but I think there's a lot of hope for you.
This crime offends human decency, it offends human dignity, and it offends the human community.
Taylor Shabbos was later found guilty on all counts and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
The decision of this court and the judgment of the law that Ms. Shabbos be sentenced as follows. Count 1, that's the first-degree intentional homicide as a repeater. That's a Class A felony. Life imprisonment without the possibility of extended supervision.
Taylor Shabbos' trial was filled with blood-chilling moments, but how does it compare to taking your own life in court? This is Michael Moraine, an ex-Wall Street trader who was accused of arson in Arizona in 2008. Moraine bought a $3.5 million mansion but could not afford the mortgage payments and tried to sell it at a charity auction. When no one bid on his house, he set it on fire.
Fire.
Okay, and what's your emergency?
Yeah, my house is on fire.
Are you going to be able to get out?
I've got one of those ladders.
You have a ladder where?
I'd rather work on that than talk to you, so let me get the hell out of here.
Moraine escaped the burning mansion using a rope ladder and scuba gear. He later relived the dramatic escape from his hospital bed.
Had some air left in that tank, and that's what enabled me to get back to the window and deploy that ladder. If I hadn't had those two things, we wouldn't be talking.
Phoenix Fire Department investigator Jeff Peabody believed Moraine had intentionally set fire to his house. Moraine was arrested, found guilty of arson, and sentenced to 21 years in prison.
We find the defendant, Michael James Mayer, guilty of arson of an occupied structure.
As the verdict was read, Moraine appeared to put something in his mouth. Moments later, he started having seizures and ultimately collapsed in court.
No.
Now she can fire the suspects down.
Moraine was taken to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. An autopsy confirmed that he had ingested cyanide. Investigators also found a canister labeled as cyanide in his car and a delayed email from Moraine to his son containing details about his will and his car. Moraine's death, caught live on camera, was a truly shocking courtroom moment. But how does it compare to the antics of a cold-blooded murderer like Scott Nelson? This is Scott Nelson, a murder and kidnapping suspect in Orlando, Florida.
I am a homicidal maniac. He lit a firecracker. He lit a bomb.
55-year-old Scott Nelson, an ex-convict, decided to rob a wealthy homeowner in Winter Park, Florida.
I wasn't particularly happy with this. Sure. See, these people in Winter Park, for instance, right, they have everything by the They have beautiful homes and beautiful cars and golf courses. I'm walking down the street while all these rich people are walking around buying jewelry and they're having their good life and all this stuff. I wouldn't give a rat's about me.
According to reports, Nelson broke into the house on September 27, 2017, and encountered Jennifer Fulford, the nanny of the homeowner's children. When Jennifer went missing, her employer reported her disappearance to 9/11.
My nanny is missing. This is what's unusual is her purse is here.
Okay.
Her car's gone, her purse is here, and nobody's heard anything from her since 11.
Nelson kidnapped Fulford at gunpoint, binding her with zip ties and duct tape that he had purchased earlier. He then forced her to withdraw money from her account at an ATM. Later, he drove her to a vacant lot, where he stabbed her multiple times in the chest and back, leaving her body there. In court, Nelson shockingly blamed society and the government for his actions.
Once you kick a dog enough times, they tend to bite back. And really, they just don't care anymore.
Tell us about your plan.
My plan was to get some money. He lit a bomb. He knew it too. And they laugh about it after. That's what corrections does. That's what the government does. That's all they've ever done to me. They've turned me into an animal.
Nelson went on to chillingly describe his crime.
Who killed Jennifer Fulford?
I did.
Did she appear to you to be terrified?
I'm sure she wasn't happy.
You've had a knife this whole time, right?
I think I left it in the vehicle, and then I had to go back and get it, I guess. Should I have dropped her off in front of
He also openly admitted to kidnapping and murdering Jennifer Fulford.
Leave her there. Not to kill her, to leave her there.
Why did you bind her hands behind her back?
I would imagine so that she couldn't leave.
Why did you wrap it so tightly that she couldn't breathe?
I didn't do it that tightly.
He further claimed that the police did a poor job of catching him.
Got me here. I gave it all to you.
Stating that he ultimately turned himself in rather than being apprehended. During the penalty phase, Nelson asked the jury to sentence him to death, stating that he was a lost cause.
I am a homicidal maniac.
Mr. Nelson, do you want to be sentenced to death?
Yes.
The jury recommended life in prison without parole for Nelson, citing his history of abuse, mental illness, and brain injuries as mitigating factors. The judge agreed and sentenced him to life in prison. Nelson's cold and calm confessions of his crimes became a truly viral courtroom moment. That concludes today's look into some of the most shocking and dramatic courtroom moments. From chilling confessions to unexpected outbursts, these cases remind us of the unpredictable nature of justice. Be sure to subscribe for more updates on gripping legal stories, and don't forget to like and share this video if you found it compelling. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.